Hello. I was starting to get worried there was only going to be just me here. Hello, Victor. Hello, EH, Laughing Jack, Cryptozoologist Investigator, Alien Light. Welcome, everybody. I saw something that was somewhat similar, I think. Hi, Marianne. And there's Corey. I'm doing fairly well. Apparently so. See, I did a little work, and I think I set up the stream a little bit better, so now we can actually see the chat. If you ever go back and look at it. Okay, Brock. Hi, Mark. Hi, JH. Welcome to the notification squad. Hello, Elizabeth. No. I try to get to everybody. So how's everybody doing tonight? I don't know. Just get a little nervous every once in a while. Hey, Mitch. Not a big spaghetti fan, but... Oh, okay. I'm doing fairly well. Brock, you said about studying the Gimlin photos. What do you think? Banana Joe? Oh, we're starting with the jokes already. Honestly, I think the black-eyed kids are the modern-day vampires. I honestly want to go into more depth about the Mothman after I've learned so much about him that it seems to be more of a species rather than an isolated event. Honestly, I haven't seen too many encounters of Bigfoot being violent. I know there's a few, but this is whatever you want it to be. I have a couple things I want to cover, but other than that, it's open forum. Brock, I agree with you. I think the Patterson Gimlin image is probably one of the best. And just so everybody knows, I tried to put music behind this, and I just could not figure out how to do it. The Tahoe Tessie. I'm familiar with it, but I don't know enough to discuss it. Chinese always gives me a bit of problems too, Mitch. Yeah, the Mothman is taking a foothold in the cryptid universe. Fantastic daily. I was waiting for this comment to come. I saw about what all happened, and I'm taking the high road, and I'm not going to even mention it in any of my videos, but I know about it. I think he got caught in his own act, and I don't like how he threw his audience under the bus when it came to coming out about being fake. Hey, Kelst. Space Bigfoot. Are you talking about Bigfoot being an alien? The Owlman's pretty interesting. And I think... Ooh, Bigfoot versus Yeti. That is a tough one. I'd have to look at all what they can do. They're pretty much the same thing, but I think the Bigfoot's bigger. I mean, the Yeti's bigger. I think, honestly, the Mothman could be an interdimensional being. Yeah, I drank what? uh, that's from what I've seen too. There's a few cases of Bigfoot attacking, but what was it? Boggy Creek monster. I think a lot of that was false reports. No one knows, Alien Light. Uh, See, lake monsters are one that I'd like to believe in, but the problem is that everybody seems to have one, so I don't know. Hey, Samurai Nobody. Yes, I definitely think that Bigfoot or the Yeti could be killed, but I wouldn't want to do so. Kels, who did you decide won between a grizzly and a silverback gorilla? I'd bet on the gorilla, honestly. I thought I had a chupacabra encounter, but I'm more on the fence now, thinking it might have been just a gray. Yes, I saw the Boggy Creek footage, and as well as read over the reports, and it just didn't seem right. You say the grizzly would win? I don't know. Like I said, lake monsters are one of those things that I take the Fox Mulder perspective as I want to believe. It's possible that Bigfoot could be one. Was it Gigantopithecus? I believe so. I don't see why not. See, the gorilla would be so much smarter. They can use tools, but sometimes intelligence doesn't beat pure aggression. I honestly haven't found any. I back in last year, I think it was. I saw that there was a spotting. No, I don't think Godzilla is real. I saw a spotting of a cryptid, and all they ever said was it had red eyes and had teeth and was in the darkness, and you couldn't see what it was, and that was the only report. So maybe it is a new form of cryptid. I have the Lahuza on my list. Yeah, that. Who thought this cryptid chat would turn into grizzlies versus gorillas? But it's a very interesting topic. Yeah, there's a lot of cemeteries I'd like to visit, Kelst. I haven't looked into the missing 411, so you have me there. I don't know what's going on. Normally, animals that have red eyes tend to be. What are they? The ones that are all white. My mind's slipping again. Because humans can have them too. Yes, I've had both paranormal and cryptid experiences. Hence why I do this. Albinos, there we go. Thank you. See that I had two people tell me here, and my wife even came out of the bedroom to tell me. Mayweather versus McGregor. I think we know who won that one. I'd love to do yes, thank you. I'd love to do a Halloween themed video. Well, the Mothman has glowing red eyes. Well, see, that's where a lot of people don't understand it is, well, not understand it, but it's one of those things that, like Bigfoot, they say that he's interdimensional. Then they say doppelgangers are interdimensional. They say aliens are interdimensional. You know, it's like a lot of times when I do cryptid videos and I even mention that there wasn't a UFO link, and I'm shocked because it's kind of like the catch-all. Hey, Brony. I already did the Headless Horseman once. I would like to do the Jack-o'-lantern though. I believe there are Bigfoots in the UK, Bradley. Conway, I have not heard of someone's eyes turning red when they're angry, but I know it's possible to see red when you're angry. Yes, I have heard of the melon heads. The only thing that bothers me about doing a video about it is I kind of feel bad for people that are just malformed. You know, it's not really a cryptid. Yes, I will be covering big cats here shortly. Robin, I'd love to go into my paranormal experiences, but the problem is that they're fairly lengthy, and I know a lot of you are wanting to ask me questions, and if I got into my paranormal experiences, that's all I'd pretty much be doing. I have never heard that, Brony. I most certainly will look into the Owlman, Brock. I did find one scarecrow cryptid, believe it or not. It was a... oh, was it an Irish folklore? But I couldn't tell if it was legitimate or not, and it basically was a form of Grim Reaper. Parrot cryptids? There's plenty of bird cryptids. Ash and Crumbs, is it PGH? Is that Pittsburgh? I have made a couple personal paranormal videos, but I do need to go back and redo some of them. Yes, I've had many requests about the female ghost that was jealous. I'm only about an hour and a half from you, Ashen, then. I'd say I've always had kind of an interest in the strange things in life. This is for Sammy Hall. I always been fascinated with that kind of thing and ghosts and everything. Honestly, when I started out, when I was a child, I was terrified of ghosts. And I'll be honest, even watching Unsolved Mysteries back with Robert Stack, it terrified me anytime they had a ghost story on there. And it just got to a point that I started to like what I feared. Now I have no fear of them, and then I had a couple cryptid encounters, and here we are. No, I haven't had any strange dreams. Hey, welcome back, Fox Gamer. The Pontiac. I plan on covering that here shortly. See, I have one person in my discussions that frequently asks me about the big cat cryptids. Is his name Bloodbath? And I am going to be covering it here in a little bit. Mongolian Deathworm, I think I have covered. Wouldn't the bat cryptid theory... oh, the Ropin. Is that what you're talking about? No, I have never had sleep paralysis, thankfully. You know, skinwalkers, I did a video about them at one point, and I really would like to do another one. because I missed Skinwalker Ranch completely. Yes, I did the Jersey Devil video, and it actually made me fall in love with the cryptid. I did cover a topic on haunted dolls. Yeah, they're not my favorite thing in the world. Talupa, back to Andrew back there. I know the area, but what's the encounter that you're talking about? Ice Wolf came about because of my history. As when I was younger, my nickname, even into my later years, Wolf was always my nickname. And when I was in college, I was working at a grocery store in a frozen section, and my coworker started calling me Ice Man, so I just put the two together. I most certainly would like to look at more cryptids in New Jersey. It's just tough to find any that's not the Jersey Devil. Phil, that's quite a few verses there. Yes, I do have Facebook. See, the Island of Dolls for Victor there, I don't know if there's anything paranormal about it. It just seems to be creepy to have all these dolls hanging from a tree and people assume that they're moving. I don't think there's actually anything going on. The history is pretty well documented of why it was as it is. No, I haven't done one about Bigfoot and Yeti. I touched on the Yeti, on my Russian cryptids. I think that was 2 weeks ago. Because normally I try to stay away from that topic of Sasquatch. Because like I said, everybody knows everything there is to know about them pretty much. I will have to look him up. I'm going to write him down because this is the second time I've heard of him. The Manus Man. I'm actually writing that down, so give me 1 second. Laughing Jack, I live in Pennsylvania. Honey Island. Is that the one with the lake monster that looked like a tadpole? Hey Tinley, glad to see you back. I did one about Indrid Cold probably last year. See Phil, we had a discussion a while ago, I think on the accidental stream, about Zozo. And apparently it was some demon that what was his name? Zach Bagans supposedly found. I saw the picture of the Gator Man, and I think it's even though they still say it's legitimate, it looks kind of sketchy to me. My Facebook is on my, if you go to my main page on YouTube, it's on one of the links in the bottom right hand corner. A hide behind? No. Like I said, when I did a couple of the Irish cryptids, I was looking at things, and some of the names were really strange, where I didn't think that they were legitimate, but maybe they are. The scariest encounter I've ever had, as I've always said, was when I met the gray or chupacabra. I think it was actually a gray, thinking about back on it, when I was a park ranger. I do believe I did Goatman once. The most dangerous cryptid. I'm going to stick with it. I don't know if I made him number one, but after thinking about him a lot, it would either be, well, the most dangerous cryptid actually would be the Goatman, because he's killed the most. But outside of that, I would say it's a toss-up between Mothman or... My mind went blank. So I'll go with Mothman. Oh, lumberjack cryptids are very fun because most of them are fake, but it's always nice to do stories that are not so serious. I'm not sure if Wendigos are real or not, and I don't intend to find out. Joseph, I'm gonna do the Honey Island Bigfoot. Like I said, I was mistaken as to what it was, but I will be doing it at one point because I think there was other things that occurred at that moment. Honestly, the most interesting cryptid is going to be the Jersey Devil, because I didn't think it existed, but after researching them, I'm kind of on the fence about it. Isn't the Bunny Man more of a creepypasta, though? I like Lauren Coleman. Matt Moneymaker, I'm not too fond of. And Adam Davies, I don't even know who he is. I don't know. The Mothman can do so many things. Well, so can the Wendigo. That's an interesting debate. That was the second one I was going to say. The Beast of Jerodan I have covered at one point. Jersey Devil can fly. Well, not to throw this out there because someone mentioned it earlier, but I actually do like the Manus aliens because they seem to have such a interesting story behind them. My wife's sitting on the computer beside me shaking her head no, wants to know nothing about them. They normally do the experimentation. The only Bunny Man movie I know was Donnie Darko. Honestly, the Jersey Devil is something that I would like to investigate. Because like I said, I thought it was fake and there was so much behind it that something had to be going on. And so many people from different states have saw him. Whole buses of people were attacked by him. The Manus aliens are aliens, but they are frequently described as having Manus, like praying Manus style heads. Kind of like Zorax from Space Ghost. Hey, Mudslayer. I have not heard of the Tea Kettler. I honestly haven't been on my computer that much.
I have an answer for Bradley Knight.
Bradley Knight.
He asked what I think about what you do. I love it.
Did you hear her answer? Dark Waters. Is that a movie? If it's something about sharks, I definitely would have watched it. Okay, yeah, he heard you. You're getting popularity now too. What do you think about Mustangs? Do they crash into crowds when leaving a car meet? I'm not a big Ford fan, so we'll throw that out there. Yes, it's great to see you, Mudslayer. I don't know about that. When I was putting together my most dangerous cryptids list, the dog man wasn't placing, but the goat man certainly was. We frequently have ghosts in the house, but as of late there really hasn't been anything. At least nothing that I've seen. They say you need your own channel. I don't, Laughing Jack, I don't see your text being cut off. I wish. More like a 2008 Jeep. Or 2007 Jeep.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie isn't anything paranormal. It's Blues Brothers. Well, it's a toss-up between Blues Brothers and High Plains Drifter. Alright. Well, Robin, every time I try to move away from the topic of Australian hauntings and cryptids, I keep getting drawn back. It seems like you have quite a bit going on. Spaceman, or Space Policeman, that's the purpose of my channel. A lot of people don't know about these cryptids, and a lot of them are old stories that are going to get lost in time, and I want them to be seen and people to know what's going on with them. Willow Creek, can't say I have. Patton or Saving Private Ryan? Oh, those are two good movies. I'm sorry, I have to go with Patton. I grew up with it. Hello? I don't really buy into rod cryptids. I think all of them are misidentified bugs. Well, see, Robin, you were defending Australia, and you even saw a sea monster yourself. I don't mind spiders. And Evie, you asked about creationism and cryptids. I'm keeping religion out of everything as much as possible. Favorite tractor brand? I don't have a tractor. Heck, we don't even have hardly enough yard to mow it with a lawnmower. Space Policeman, that's the funny thing, is that I started with more of a innocent mindset when I started making these videos. And as of late, I've gotten more to the point where it's like, okay, I can see where these stories came from and there isn't anything strange behind them. I like the Destination Truth. The Frogman. I'm not sure where the Frogman's at. There we go. Gotta switch this up. If I could have a cryptid for a pet, what would it be? Oh, man.
Cryptozoologist investigator.
Yeah, Brock. Oh, if I was to have a cryptid for a pet, I guess it would be Bigfoot. I'd probably be the safest.
I want a hellhound.
A hellhound?
I
No.
want a hellhound.
You know hellhounds come, they're trying to get your soul. Bigfoot. I'd rather run into Bigfoot.
Nobody be knocking on the door, that's for sure.
Although I can say this about Destination Truth. Apparently he did find that footprint of the Yeti. There you go. The hellhound would have to get along with Chewie. And Chewie doesn't get along with anybody. I'm going to plead the fifth, Tinley. Have a leprechaun. From what I understand, leprechauns are pretty nasty. I don't think I'd want one. Most cryptids I've seen, well, I know there's a couple that were reported. Off the top of my mind, I can't say which ones that were seen by whole classes of school kids. But more often than not, they see ghosts. Oh, that would have freaked me out, Japan. Don't tell Chewie that. Well, we frequently do. Basilisks. I don't know. It'd be kind of hard to hide a giant snake, basically. But there are some photographs of it. The dogs that walk backward have backwards feet. I remember reading something about that, but there was also a couple other spirits or cryptids that did the same thing. Warwick Davis's version. But the fairy tale version is actually the same. If I remember correctly, leprechauns were supposed to kill the person if they try to get the gold. If I remember. South Georgia. I think there are, and I think I was asked this last time I did this live chat. But like I said, off the top of my head, I can't. No, it wasn't the Titan boas. It was something else. It was captured from an airplane. The snake. See, I know nothing about this tea kettle. Reptilians are strange. That's all I can say. I mean, there's... after going into the Dulce Base videos and reading up on stuff like that, I'd rather leave them where they're at. Yes, there's plenty of Bigfoot sightings in Florida, I know at least. Hey, Stevie. And as I said in my last stream, if I don't get to your question, it's not because I'm ignoring you. I'm just trying to keep up. Slenderman I'm interested in. The other ones, no. I give them credit just for the fact that the creepypastas seem to be, as I covered last time, seem to be the new version of cryptids. No, he isn't real. And that's the thing that I find so interesting about it, is that some people are claiming that they have sightings of it. And I find it interesting because, like I said, with a lot of cryptids, when you go into the backstory, you see the lore and the tales that are like cautionary tales about things to keep people away. And he's almost one of them. He's becoming like the new form of cryptid. The Mothman has been sighted in just about every state, as far as I know. And in fact, he's been spotted in quite a few different countries. Well, the Megalodon definitely would make me very uncomfortable. The Jinn are a strange being, I guess would be. They're not so much a cryptid, but some of them are supposed to be good. But from all I ever saw, they were always causing havoc. May. Yes, Golden Car Comics. He has been spotted all over. I don't know if I'd like to see the Mothman. I've heard some bad things about what happens to people that do that. I like that comment, Big Steve. Victor, that story actually turned out not to be true. I just did that one on Russian cryptids, and I was all excited thinking, oh, here's another spotting of them before a disaster, and it's not. I have no idea if they're digital cryptids. See, within the digital thing, I think that still would be just a different plane of existence. Yes, he's seen before large disasters. Yes. No, I have not heard of Bob. Sadly, it seems most of the people I've heard of are ones that my viewers have asked me to try to debunk. Yes, Japan. A lot of people believe that cryptids are scientific experiments. I know for a fact that a lot of people thought the chupacabra was one. I'm doing pretty good, Cat Daddy. How you doing? I don't want to do a debunking series. Yeah, the man-eating tree of South America. That is a very interesting story. It's highly made up, but I would love to do one about the lore behind it. It's just trying to find other ones. Thank you, whoever. I believe I have. For the book that you asked. You as well, Mudslayer. I don't know if anyone would get into touching distance with the Mothman or not. You know, honestly, having a channel like I do and having the interest that I do, I have not watched a single episode of Supernatural. Never had an interest in it. Now I'm going to get all the hate. I don't know. The Chupacabra is one of those interesting cryptids that when they first started out, they were reptilian, and now every single time that people see them, and I mean every single time people see them, it's the dog version. And I think that, not to throw on a tinfoil hat, but I think it's a little bit of a conspiracy going on with that. I plan on doing cryptids from around the world. I just don't want to do them in a way that I'm covering all of them. No, I would not like to bear hug a Bigfoot. Although that purple commercial is pretty funny. Yes, I do play video games. I actually was playing one of the newest Batmans before I got on here. The oldest cryptid. Ooh, that is a tough one because they've all been written about. Because you have the beast of, what is it, Partridge Creek, and then you have Bigfoot. I would have to, well, aliens are not cryptids because they're about everybody's.
They've been written on cave paintings and the Egyptian walls.
But then you got the Jinn, but they're a spirit being. That's a tough question. See, the Mothman, I don't really know. The Mothman, I don't know if he's causes the accident or if he is just there to warn people. It seems like if he's the warn people, if that's his only purpose, then he does a terrible job at it because no one sees him. Have you ever heard of the rare stories of Bigfoot wearing clothing or having a pet dog with him? No, I have not heard that, unless you're meaning me. I haven't heard of the Turtle Man cryptids. Well, aliens aren't theoretically cryptids, and I do want to mention this. Whoever, before it gets off the screen here, you asked about Plum Island. I did a video about Plum Island probably about 4 months ago. Aliens are not cryptids, Evie. They are a different form. It's always tough for me to get them down to what they are. I'm getting the feeling, Alien, you really want to touch a Mothman, and I don't know why. The Kappa I covered in one of the compilation videos I've done. See, that's the problem I have with Mothman being something to warn people, because if that's his case, then he doesn't do a very good job at it. Yes, there's been people that spotted Mothman during 9/11. Q-Box, I don't know what to tell you. I once did a collaboration video with a guy. I believe his channel's wolvesandsheeples.com, which you should look up. And during the whole video, he kept saying he had helicopters flying over his house, which he never had before. So I seem to draw that kind of thing. Let me see. There's been reports of people shooting down the rope-and-like cryptids, but I don't know which one is real or fake. Honestly, if I was to do a collaboration with someone I really want to do it with, it would probably be Rob Dyke. We have similar interests, but hey, Joseph. I was curious if you were going to show up. The Pope Lick Monster and the Goat Man are similar, but if I remember correctly, the Pope Lick Monster is proven to be a fake. I covered the sheep squatch in a video about 2 months ago about different types of Sasquatch, where I could go into the Bigfoot topic without going into the Bigfoot topic. Bradley, a lot of people think that maybe he's blurry. I tried contacting him, and he's too big, apparently, to talk to someone like me. My wife's into dragons. I am not, but I wanted to do a video about them. But as I said, there's not too many differences in between the two, you know. I like to go into a species and say, okay, this is their characteristics, but there's not that many differences. Rob Dyke does a lot of horror slash paranormal slash strange things on the internet kind of thing. He's a very interesting person to watch. I've heard of Waverly Hills. Yeah, I have a fondness for wolves. I guess I'm chopped liver. I drank what? I'm just kidding. I will say for Dragon wise though, not to throw this tie in there, but the ones on Game of Thrones are pretty cool. I would like to do an interview with Lauren Coleman, but I guarantee you he wouldn't even look at my email address. Well, we're going on 10 years. We've been married for 10 years.
We were married for 9. We've been together for about.
Okay, we've been married
12?
for 9, and we've been together for about 12. The deep web, I don't even. They hide more things than just that kind of stuff. Oh, absolutely. Of all the questions I've been asked, that one I can answer right up front. Yes, I believe the U.S. government is hiding proof of extraterrestrial life. Due to not quite. No, I'm not 40 years old. I would love to get an introduction to Lauren Coleman. I'd like to just even talk to him regardless of being on this. Oh no, not quiz time. Oh, do I believe the interior of the Earth is inhabited? I don't know. It's an interesting theory, and I know my dad's more on the side, believe it or not, my dad's on the side of thinking that there's a civilization that is hidden, but I don't know if they're on the inside. I do like the theories and the stories about them. Those are quite provocative. The Black Knight. I don't know. Again, I hate to answer all these questions with I don't know, but there's information that says the Black Knight is real. There's information that says it isn't. And the information that says it isn't, then you also have to come in the mindset is it covered up? And as far as the Hollow Earth, again, I don't know. No, I've never gone to a tractor pull.
What do you think of the alien bases in Antarctica?
See, I originally saw, as far as the question that Brony asked, I looked into what was Operation Sky Jump. Wasn't that what it was called? And honestly, it seemed to be more of a power play during the wars, but I don't think it was all truthful as to what they were doing. Okay, I will certainly do that. Let's see where we're at here.
Someone wants to know what the giveaway's about.
Yes, and I am trying to find that. I think it was right here. There we go. Alright, since someone asked about it, I am going to talk about the giveaway. I'm not ignoring anyone's questions, but I wanted to mention that it is going to be on September 8th, and names will be drawn from the comment section of this coming week's video. And on the 8th, which is a Friday, it'll be the following Friday of this week's video, I will be releasing who won, and if I can't get in contact with someone, I'll draw again. I have 6 items that I'm giving away, and I'm going to keep that hidden until the day of the contest. So yes, that was the giveaway. Thank you for the bringing me back on where I need to put my slides. So yes, it is on September 8th. Andrew was born in May. No, none of them are books. They're just interesting items that I've collected. All but one are brand new. But the one it isn't, I think, is very interesting. Yes, I am. JoJo reference. Well, that's a name I haven't heard for a while. All you have to do to enter the giveaway is comment on the video that I'm going to be posting. I always say Sunday, but it's going to be Monday. And the name will, randomly names will be pulled from that. Like I said, there's 6 items, and so there'll be 6 winners. My favorite cryptid is a toss-up again, and I constantly go back to these ones. It's either the Mothman or the Jersey Devil. Alien Light, I misread that question, and I thought you were talking about a show that my wife watches. But I would think cryptids related to dark matter is, wouldn't that be theoretically aliens? That really wouldn't be cryptids. Space Policeman. What I found so funny about this black goo is that you find it everywhere now. It started with aliens, and it went to X-Files as Purity, and now it's in what's that other show you watch? What other show do you watch? Okay, she's not listening to me. Oh, it's dark. It is dark matter. Dark matter has it. Yeah, but they don't have the one with the black in the eyes now.
No, it was dark matter.
A gladiator battle between the Mothman and the Jersey Devil. Wow.
I'd have to go with the Jersey Devil.
Could you review that? See, you were here for the last accidental live stream, Brock, and I love to show lost tapes, but I can't find them. The dog man or the goat man in a street death fight. Oh. Well, the goat man uses an axe, if I'm correct. But I'd have to go with the dog man. I drank what was it, 2 weeks ago? I started messing with the programming because you have to use separate programming to do live streams. I just started trying to get things set up, like this one's set up. And somehow it accidentally started live streaming. And so I thought, well, I might as well go with it. I'll have to look up the lost tapes on YouTube. The only problem with that is there's always someone recording it on their couch on the TV, and they're never very good. The one show I did not like was a Monster Quest. I have not heard of the Vatican Files. I'm glad to hear that. I thought it was going a little slow. Cryptid I would never like to meet. Probably the Chupacabra. Thank you, Golden Cars. I'm extremely excited to see if he even mentions anything about me or tries to get in contact with me. Mountain Monsters. I love the show. Is it fake? Absolutely. But I think it has a place. It gets people interested in the cryptid world. And some of the facts they get somewhat right. But it's pure entertainment. Yes, I've heard of the Flatwoods Monster. Yeah, the Chupacabra, it has a history that's kind of sketchy because the first person that ever saw it saw the creature after watching the movie Species. And a lot of it seemed the same. Season 5 of what? The Roundwoods Monster. Yes, I've heard of him too. Or it, guess I should say. I agree. Wendigo would be one I definitely wouldn't want to see as well. Oh. The cryptid I think is the most fake. Oh, what was it? A slide rock boulder? Basically the whale that was on the mountain. I don't watch Deadliest Catch. Honestly, my favorite tape, I always hate to go back to this, but my favorite episode of Lost Tapes was either the Oklahoma octopus or the Jersey Devil. I'm not a big fan of finding Bigfoot just because they portray it as real. Mountain Monsters, you can tell that they have a bit of humor to it where it isn't real. But finding Bigfoot, I think they're more detrimental. Oh, we got a Metal Gear reference there. I've heard a lot of people talk about this Man Bear Pig, and just the name alone sounds fake to me. So I haven't even looked it up. That's an interesting theory about the Chupacabra. I never heard that. The only theories I've ever heard was that it either existed here, was a lost alien pet, or came from the nightmare halls of the Dulce base. Oh, okay. I don't never watch South Park too often. Which Woman in White? There are multiple ones of it. The cryptids that's most real, I hate to say it, is Bigfoot. Metallica, I don't mind Metallica. I always was more fond of Van Halen though. Alright, we'll see you, Robin. Thanks for showing up. Let me switch. There we go. I'm not sure what the Chupacabra is. I do like the idea of it being an alien pet, though. Well, we have a lot of verses. I wanted to do a video about versus battles, but I didn't know how it would work out. But when you put Wendigo on the list, he's pretty hard to beat. No, I want to do investigations for cryptids. We just don't have the not refunds, but the funds to do so. Yeah, we need a refund. Thank you, Mudslayer. Christopher, I try to make a pattern of my videos where it's not all one topic. I will do one on aliens, and the next week I'll do one on ghosts, and then I'll do one on cryptids, and then back to aliens. I try to keep that pattern because I feel like I would start having trouble constantly making the same thing. I thought the Wendigo was fairly easy to kill. It's just getting close enough to do so. Oh, have a good night, whoever. I had to reread your comment there a few times.
Which cryptid would you like to become?
Which cryptid would I like to become? This is terrible. I'll be a werewolf. Bradley, I originally wanted to do a video of every cryptid in each state, where one, video would be on Pennsylvania, one would be on Georgia, and I realized within less than 4 years I would be completely out of material. Have a good night, Raven. Thanks for showing up. Big Steve, yes, that's. I don't want to make any of them mad. We already had someone on here having one come out of the woods, apparently. The Loop Guru, I am going to be doing a video about that one as well as the Rougarou. And I'm not sure if there's a difference between the two other than the name. Shortly. I think the only thing you have misspelled on Loop Guru is U at the end. I don't know anything about killing one. My favorite Fallout weapon? Wow. I honestly don't know. It depends on which Fallout, I would assume, too. But for the most part, I just grabbed whatever worked. See, I don't remember seeing anything about Wendigos being susceptible to silver. Fallout 3. Again, it comes down to whatever worked. Fallout.
Had ammo for it.
Yeah, whatever I had ammo for. It was like Resident Evil for me.
Ooh, can you do a video on the lizard people?
Are we saying lizard people or the reptilians? And where did you say you were from, Andrew? Well, Laughing Jack, they kind of did have a mutated zoo animal in Fallout 4. It was the... I don't know what it was called, and I only run across one of them. But it was an alligator that looked like a deathclaw. Oh, okay. I think there's quite a few more than that in New Mexico. Japan, I think that's where a lot of cryptids come out.
A lot of them were stories
Yeah.
parents would tell their kids to keep them to be good.
Ohio cryptids. I know there's a few, and I know that you kind of have the same problem that we do with werewolf kind ones, or dogman, I guess it would be. Clown cryptids. Not that I know of.
Clown you come across.
Not that I know of. The Loveland Frog. Yes, the Loveland Frog. I'm not familiar with the kaiju. The name's familiar, but I don't know what it is. I did a video on the Michigan Dog Man, but like I said multiple times, I'm not going to do a video strictly on state by state cryptids, because I want to have my channel for more than 4 years. Ooh, transition. Godzilla's not in there. Welcome, Dean. I will say that you have some unique eyes. Why not? That's Chewy and Gidget. Chewy's the face of my channel. Do you think that's... That's an interesting question. It was asked about Egyptian images showing basically hybrids. I've honestly thought that there might be more to it than just the masks. I thought that possibly they could be cryptid form, but a lot of times more people are focused on alien aspects. Chewie is. He's a cryptid. Although he's seen more times than I am. Are the cryptids of animals growing bigger than they should be? I would think that the only ones that would kind of fit into that realm of cryptids growing bigger than they should might be the snake ones. I looked up the SCP, but I forget what I saw when I looked them up. I'm sorry. Exactly, Guido. Welcome back, Qbox, and I have to ask, what was it? I've played Halo. I like the campaign. Don't like the multiplayer. Yeah, as far as the question went for cryptids that grow, and basically how I interpreted the question was that a creature that grew so big and unchecked that it became a cryptid. Oh. I'm not big into creepypastas. I give them their credit for being modern, scary stories. But that's about it. The more I go into it, I won't do videos about it. I did one once. Have you ever... Japan, you asked if have I ever met someone or been contacted by anyone who wanted to cover up cryptid instances. I haven't been personally contacted, but I know there's many stories of people that were told that they didn't see anything, and it's not just about aliens. Cookie Monster is probably the best cryptid there is. GTA 5. No, I quit playing after GTA 4 when I realized the game was all pretty much the same. Thank you. The Georgia Werewolf. My least favorite cryptid. Oh, do I have a least favorite cryptid? I don't think I have a least favorite cryptid.
I don't think you do either.
Oh, we're doing the jokes again. Pretty much. It's always blamed on aliens. Like I said, whenever I do a cryptid video and there isn't a UFO link somewhere or someone claiming there's a UFO involved, I'm more surprised than anything.
Why are the ghosts in Japan more creepy?
The ghosts in Japan, why are they more creepy? I don't really think it's so much as them being more creepy. It's a lot to do with the culture of wearing painted white faces. I think that's what it is. But not everybody does that, so but that's what you frequently see. Chicken or beef? Chicken. I've watched Edward Scissorhands and that's as far as I'm going with it. Honestly, there wasn't a big difference between the dog man and the werewolf. Just seems that the only difference I could find was that a werewolf, for the most part, was always human to begin with, or could revert back to being human, and dogmen, for the most part, always were a dogman. Oh, the Illuminati. I did a video about that one too. I was supposed to do a second version of it, but the first one was so draining that I never got back to doing it.
Like ramen. Loaded question.
I lived off of ramen for... I still do. For about 16 years of my life, it was ramen noodles and a turkey sandwich. Dry.
Only when he cooks for himself.
See, I've been wanting to do a video about... The Laughing Jack mentions there. I've been wanting to do a video about ghosts that have killed people. But there aren't a lot of cases like that. Again, it comes down to the problem of getting stories from people that have been killed by something. It's hard to find someone had to survive, you know. I don't remember. I think I did something about the suicide forest, but I'm not sure. I know the movie was terrible. See, I just recently had this discussion with my brother about cryptids and them being found. I think a lot of times they are found, but no one believes us that says we've seen them. And like I told my brother, yes, there's multiple people that go out into the woods all the time, but how many go out with a camera? Do I think fairies are real? Apparently, I'm supposed to. Because as I mentioned in my brownie video, I didn't think they were real too until I got hit by one for calling it a fairy. Yes, the movie, what was the movie called? I know Jens will tell me. The movie about the suicide forest with the girl from Game of Thrones. The movie was terrible. Why are you on Polish stream story? I don't know what you mean. No, I don't believe in the Krampus. Very interesting story, though. See, I would love to do, and this isn't what you talked about, but I would love to do the Irish cryptids. I have Irish blood, but I like the stories that they have, and it's still to this day they treat areas with respect due to it. There you go. Chris G got it. The Forest. I highly recommend no one watch it. Well, I think, touching back to what someone said about people catching cryptids and Laughing Jack saying about them covered up, I think a lot of times people may have evidence of cryptids, but if they're important enough, I think other agencies get involved that keep that hidden. Do I ever see shadow people? Frequently. I actually feel bad for shadow people. Because they seem to be the spirits that can't manifest and seem stuck in their own world. Or Blues Brothers. I don't know if a family member can come back and warn someone of another family member's passing. Because what really can you do? I have had instances where I was given information about someone that I knew was going to pass. However that information came about, I'm not sure. And at one point, I actually saved my dad because of it. Have a good night, Big Steve. I don't know. When I was looking up the Yeti for my Russian cryptids, my first thought was like everyone else thinks, is that when they think of Yeti, they go with the typical idea. They're a white Bigfoot. And if you actually go into the stories of the area, which actually predate the Buddhist monks, they weren't. They were more like a bear. And even the name Yeti means, I forget what the exact term is, but it's a bear. So it might be a bear. Have a good night, Tinley. What cryptids have I encountered? I've only encountered 2, I think. One was the, it's not a cryptid. I don't know what it is. It was either an alien or it was a chupacabra. I'm not sure which one it was. And I think, and I'll throw this out there, I think I saw a Bigfoot once. Yeah, but I think the Mandela effect doesn't really play into the part when coming with some of the stories, because a lot of times people see the same thing from different areas. And I agree with Lauren. Like I said, every time I think of a Yeti, I think of a white Bigfoot. And from what I saw, they can be white, but for the most part, they are also brown as well. A brownie. They're a delicious treat. No, a brownie is actually a form of... I'm going to get beat again. But it's like a form of... I guess the best way to say it, a fae folk. Where they're supposed to, like... The best way to think of it is like in Harry Potter. Like the...
House elf.
Like house elf. And they seem to help out amongst the house, and if you don't treat them right, then they can leave or cause problems. What was your experience with the shadow people? Like I said, Laughing Jack, I mentioned something about... I called one a fairy once, the brownies, and it didn't turn out well. Car or home? I don't get the question. Mudslayer. I've heard multiple stories like that, but I don't know what the... I really don't know what to say, because a lot of times I question... Not the validity of the story, but I question as to if the spirit is actually who you think it is telling you. Black-eyed kids, like I said, when I was doing... I did a video about them. And originally, I thought that they were their own being of sorts. But then I did the vampire video after not doing one for so long. And a lot of the old history that no one forgets about vampires, shockingly, all these black-eyed kids now have. Like vampires originally couldn't enter your house unless they were invited in. Guess who else does that? Vampires always wore black. Guess who else does that? You know, so it seems like the black-eyed kids are now the modern version of vampire stories.
Are there any cat
Cat cryptids are a little bit difficult. I remember there was one called the Hodag, and it was absolutely false. It was put on, but most big cat cryptids that I've heard of are either just actual cats where they're not supposed to be, like mountain lions or panthers or what have you. And there's a strange one that I really want to look into, which are kind of tying with the Australian ghost kangaroo, but there's a ghost panther too. Pretty much, Guido. Brownies. My wife actually saw the one after she thought I was crazy when I thought I mentioned it, and it's about knee height. The problem with cryptids being only mentioned in one area, I think it deals with locality, is that it's more frequently spoke about, and it seems like people aren't afraid for people to think that they're nuts. But Japan has quite a few cryptids, honestly. But a lot has to do with the mythology, so I don't know if they're real or just, folktale.
I want to answer to Laughing Jack there. If there are saber-toothed alien cats and you find one, bring me one.
Yeah, Dean, they're about knee height.
At least the one we have.
Yeah, the one we had was. Like I said, the first night that I saw a brownie, I was laying in bed. My wife was on the computer with her back to me, and all of a sudden I saw this thing looking like it was like digging at the blankets. And I looked at that thing for multiple times, and then finally it disappeared, and I told my wife about it, and it was the first time since we've been together that she actually thought I was nuts. And then, what was it, a week later,
Yeah.
you saw him beside you in the kitchen. See, the problem with Golden Car comics is when it comes to like the black-eyed kids, and that's what I'm assuming you're talking about, is that, and that's why I even said in my video when I was debunking FD, the problem comes into is that you have people that will act the part to try to get a kick out of things. They could be legitimate just humans that had a bad motives for doing it, or the worst part of it all is it could be some child that actually needs help and no one wants to help them. What else do we got here? There we go. We'll switch to that. Yeah, that seems a little suspicious to me. I wouldn't let them in either. No, it didn't have. This is the Laughing Jack. It didn't have horns or. Well, I don't remember sharp ears. Like I said, it was.
To me, it resembled more of
One
like
second.
a leprechaun in a way.
Yeah, it would be what you think of when you think
It's not
of
as fancy as what we see on television, and
the one I saw was kind of a grayish brown. Its back was to me, and it just looked like, as I described it to my wife, it was like if there was a kitten on our bed, about that size, just sitting there, and it was just sitting there digging furiously at the blanket. And we didn't have any cats at the time. Oh, Victor, you're trying to get me in trouble again by trying to describe it. A brownie is the fae folk that is basically a house elf. Like I said, if you think about Harry Potter with Dobby, I guess is his name, that's basically the same thing. And they're very well written about. And they're supposed to help out around the house. And they can transfer between family members. But if you irritate them, things can go bad.
have you ever encountered gnomes?
No, I've never encountered a gnome other than the ones that were uh, my mom had painted on a stump that mysteriously vanished. How you doing, Sarge? Chris, your question about the brownie, it possibly could have been one. They're hard to tell, and I've seen videos of people from around the world that have caught videos of these things. Well, how bad are we talking? It doesn't get real bad. I mean, like I said, I got hit with a bottle in the leg, if I remember correctly. It was the arm. But for the most part, they just show their displeasure and leave.
If you try to give them anything, food, clothing, anything
Well,
like that, they leave permanently.
well, see, that was the thing. What my wife was just saying was that a lot of times they say you're supposed to feed a brownie, but according to the lore, you can, but you're dealing with like human aspects where some are one way and another are another. And for the most part, they see it as they don't want payment for what they're doing. They see it as a bad thing. Not the one I had, Dean. Fox Gamer, if you're talking about what Dean had said about what brownies like I said, they're very well written about. Yes, I drank what is. That's all you need to do to win the giveaway. And actually, I'm going to do something here before you go. Because I'm going to be closing this down. I'm going to do something a little bit different. So, yeah, she doesn't have any idea what I'm planning to do. I want to tell you a little story. I'm not going to answer any questions at this moment, but just listen. Growing up as a kid, I was always had toys like G.I. Joe and what have you. Once she sees this, she knows what's going on. And the problem was, and I'm waiting for it to come up. The problem was that I always had issues with the characters. Oh, she's laughing. I had issues. I had issues with characters that wore masks. And I'd buy the characters that had masks where you could take them off and see what the person looked like. And normally what you came across was this. I put some work into this. So that always irritated me. So without further ado, here I am. As soon as it pops up. There's the face reveal. I figured as much. I was waiting for the comment I look better with the Jason mask. Yes, a face reveal with Gidget behind my head. I know it's been a long time coming, and I figured now would be the perfect time to do a face reveal.
Oh, all those people that left are going to be so upset with you.
It's still recorded. So, at this point...
Mugshot.
Laughing Jack, I told you I'm not that old. No, the just so I said, since there was that question, there's a dog behind my head while I'm sitting on the couch. Oh, you got blamed for me wearing the Jason mask.
Oh no. Not after that creepy doll you brought into the house.
So, I figured now was the perfect time to let that be seen. And
Then I'm the luckiest woman on earth. Game.
but with that, I'm going to end this. It's been great. And I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. And like I said, Q-Box is messing me up here. I appreciate it. All right. With that, be safe, and I'll see you in the next one.